Hi, this is Jim Cramer, founder of TheStreet.com, and I'm with Dan Dicker, our energy expert. We're back again for what, just so you know, Dan, are the most popular videos that we do.
Oh, that's good to hear. Thanks,
and
Jim.
I think that one of the reasons we are is because they're action-oriented. One of the actions that I want to talk about
smart, which is always
they're smart.
Important.
Yeah, because we do it a little more in depth than you can elsewhere. There was a stock that was the most action-oriented stock I've seen in ages, which was a gigantic 40% move yesterday in First Solar. Now, I remember the stock in the hundreds, but I also remember it in the teens.
As do I.
Is it correctly valued right now in the 30s?
No, I don't think so. But that doesn't mean that we haven't had a turnaround here in First Solar shares, which have been in the doghouse, as you recognized, because of a flooding of panels from Chinese subsidized companies. That's been the main problem that First Solar has run through over the course of the last 2 years. And right now, what had happened was there was a huge short float, followed by what was a tremendous upgraded guidance.
Right, so in the
$4
range, which would mean
which was 50 cents over what the analysts were looking for, an extra billion in revenues.
But do you believe in them?
I do.
You do.
And I'll tell you why. It's because the Chinese have made at least some signs to me that they're not going to continue to support what is an unsupportable kind of subsidy system for 500 panel makers in China. Their biggest company, which is Suntech, recently missed, in the middle of March, missed a $540 million payment to bondholders. They were forced to go into a bankruptcy court. They owe about $2 billion to the Chinese government. And so far, at least, the Chinese have not come along with a bailout package for this one. And this is their premier solar company there. So if they don't come across with a bailout package for Suntech, we can be pretty sure that the Chinese are backing away from what has been, I think, an unsustainable
and Jinko Solar, horrible quarter
all of them,
this morning,
all the same.
$5 loss.
It's all the same, the Chinese ones,
Let's drill down for a second, because the wrap on First Solar had been, if countries pull back their subsidies, not just China, but Germany, and United States had a subsidy, this company can't do well. But when I went over the presentation that they gave yesterday, it appears that they've gotten the cost down to the point where they're claiming it's now economic.
Well, not only that, and I think that is true.
You do think it's true?
I do, and in fact, the prices per megawatt, per gigawatt on these panels have been going down steadily, and they will continue to go down. Actually, they will continue to go down as more of these Chinese companies fail.
Go under,
We can talk about that, but just take that as a given. As these companies fail, they can move forward in terms of technologies, where before, if they're just flooded with something cheap, that's what they're going to buy, the technology sort of gets stilted.
Okay, now Dan, one of the crucial moments in this day-long analyst meeting was that they talked about that they have a proprietary technology. True or false?
Well, they talk about the cadmium telluride move, moving to a crystalline silicate move. I don't know. Here's what I do know.
Okay.
There's been a very strong incentive for utilities to get involved in what has been a very cheap solar panel industry. So there are investors out there, private equity and otherwise, who are building farms and are selling them in concert with utilities because it is very cheap, first of all, to put in, and second of all, because it provides peak power during the day, you know, when the sun is shining, when the prices for electricity are 3 or 4 times more expensive than they are at night, and they add to the grid in a way that is cost effective, at least right now. Now, that's a source of growth inside the utilities that I didn't see coming, but in fact, a Real Money guy, Glenn Williams, did see
very good.
And this is another reason to be subscribed to Real Money, because you get stuff like from Glenn. He's terrific. He's all over the utility space, and he recognized this several months ago. So in many ways, you know, I give him credit for actually seeing this trend kind of turning around. The bottom line is that I think that solar, as opposed to being in the doghouse, this being a one-off kind of short squeeze move, I think it's becoming tradable again.
So let's say, let's take one more question on this. If the stock were to go back to the low 30s, high 20s, on a $4 and change number, we should buy it.
I want it very much.
You do?
Yes. I'm sorry I didn't buy it at 18.
No, that's all right.
It's gone up to 40.
Like 140, man.
Right,
you know.
Exactly. If it goes to 34, 35, I want some. And if it goes down to 32, I want some more.
Dan Dicker, thank you so much. This is Jim Cramer. Stay with us.